from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 136. I am Chris.
And I am sort of sick, Steve. How was that boogie?
That was a good one. That was Foley for the ages.
Keep that one. Turn that one into like some sort of soundboard clip.
See, I still want.
Whenever I'm trying to pretend to be sick.
Yeah, I want a soundboard. And like I don't know exactly because we use both the USB ports on the computer right now, so I don't know exactly how we'd get it in there.
We need to just get a mixing board.
Yeah, I guess.
So, anybody, we have you could donate to the podcast.
Yeah,
if you go to
in the show notes.
Yeah, go to clarkwoods.com/hot
/136.
You don't even have to go to the specific one.
It's right there.
Just go there. You can donate to us. Maybe we can get a mixing board, and we can have a soundboard and sound like a morning zoo instead of what you have come to love and enjoy.
Right. Yeah. Where we just like we do the effects right there on the spot. We just sort of like we do the voices.
I don't have to like put my nose right up next to the microphone.
No. We can just.
Luckily, I'm the one that uses this. You might want to take like one of those Lysol wipes to this one.
Do it. The other thing that you could donate to us for, like, so the other thing I saw this week, I was like, I gotta start saving some money for this because I wonder how it would help us. So the podcast player that I listen to, that I use, I don't use just podcasts, the one that Apple puts out.
Yeah, why would you use that?
It's a fine app, but I have.
Oh, by the way, if you listen to the show through that podcast app, you can rate us 5 stars and send a little message to everybody else.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things.
Oh wait, that's YouTube. No, we rate and review us on iTunes.
Rate and review us and give us all the 5 stars you could possibly do. Tell your friends to as well.
New listeners find out about the project.
Yeah, look at this. We're doing this up front so people aren't being like, oh, they're talking about plugs and bullshit at the end.
But here's the thing. So I use an app called...
Every once in a while, I'm going to go, because I have trouble breathing through my nose. I'll try to turn away like Tay Zonde.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
When I go... I'm silly because I've been cooped up in the house all weekend.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm going out for dinner after this because I think I kind of need to get out of the house.
I think you could use it. But first, the podcast listeners get like cooped up all weekend, Steve, and I think that's actually pretty entertaining.
Shut up.
No, so I use this app called Overcast, and the guy who develops it, Marco Arment, over the years has used a few different ways to try and make money. First, he used an in-app purchase that would unlock some of the features, and then he did a patronage model where, like, if you dug the app, you could send him money, and then he did a bunch of things. But the most recent way that he's been trying to make money is by putting ads in there to kind of prompt you to subscribe on a yearly basis and throw him a little bit of money. And
do you want to do like what NPR does and be like, have a pledge drive?
Well, no. So
an episode people could very easily skip.
Yeah, well,
we just turned our flashback episode into a pledge drive.
Yeah,
you can get awesome gems like you don't like this one that you don't remember.
Yeah, and maybe if you pledge like $300, we'll give you a toaster
or a tote bag.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's usually a tote bag. Tote bag would be or some coasters.
Oh, well,
gotta go.
We have those.
I know. Well,
I gotta keep on forgetting to bring them out when we go out to places.
A pledge drive, I think, by its very I think you got to go with stuff you already got around. At least when you're sort of at the financial level that we're at, so that you don't spend all the money that you're getting on pledges on fulfilling
the pledges.
The pledges.
What we need to do is get some coasters out there so we get some more listeners.
Yes, and
then maybe they'll start donating.
Well, so
it'll be like a snowball rolling down a hill.
Like a snowball.
But we don't need to talk shop anymore.
No.
We can talk about what you were going to talk about.
We can talk about what we're going to talk about. But no, this is the final. I'm trying to talk about what I was going to talk about.
Oh, by talking about what you're talking about?
Yes, I'd like to talk about what I'm talking about by talking about what I'm talking about.
We don't need to say it again.
The guy, Marco, in his app has ads. And
Marco, the Phoenix?
Marco. Wait, hold on. No, so he retooled his app recently, and he's refocusing his ad product on podcasts. So for a certain amount of money, you as a podcast can get advertised in a podcast app. And he had a table based on his his early projections on how many subscribers you might stand to gain by running an ad for however long it would run. And even though it was a decent amount of money, I'm not going to say it here in the show, but it's a decent amount of money. I was like, hey, if it got us some new listeners, like
listeners that don't live in the Northeast or.
Yeah. So you would, in theory, what you would do here is you would buy an ad in the comedy section because we're a comedy podcast.
Are we?
Well, that's our nominal category, right? So you would buy that, and people who were listening in Overcast to comedy podcasts, when they got an ad, they would get an ad for us.
Is the podcast like kind of dreary?
Is our podcast kind of dreary?
Or no, the app is that kind of dreary?
Oh, I like what you did there. No. Overcast, like I get
it. I get it because like broadcast, because you broadly cast it out.
Yes, you cast it at broads.
But
don't do that.
No. Broadcast is actually an agricultural term.
Is it?
It came from broadly casting your seed.
Not
don't
the
seed
do that
from your.
Don't do that at broads either.
Yeah. Well,
unless they ask.
Yeah, unless they're like completely willing and able.
Oh my god. Okay, so wait, how did this come up?
Able legally as well.
In terms of we ran out of things that were like family appropriate to watch during dinner times during like pizza night.
So you decided on porno instead?
No, but we had
fuck it. They're already too far gone.
But MTV has started.
No,
I don't know. Listen.
They're too young for MTV.
Stay with me here for a second.
Okay.
All right. So I don't know how long ago they started this, but MTV now does
MTV Raps.
No, a 2-hour block of Friends called Dinner with Friends. Now we've been over this. You are a Seinfeld person. I'm a Friends person. We don't need to go back into that debate. But Friends.
Yeah, I don't think there's a debate to be had. But
Well, I do, and that's why I don't want to get into it. Right?
All right, we'll end up in fisticuffs at the end of this one.
Fisticuffs is a great word. So that we decided was at least moderately appropriate. Melody buries her head in her iPad no matter what, so it's really just Kaylee we have to worry about on the odd occasion that she's paying attention. So the other night, we're watching Dinner with Friends. We're watching, a couple episodes in a row, and we get to the episode late in the series where Monica and Chandler are getting tested for infertility.
Oh,
and they learn that they can't have a baby naturally, but they're getting tested for infertility, and it just so happens Stephanie has gone upstairs to go to bed. She hasn't been feeling that well. Kaylee and I are sitting there on the couch watching this, and she asks me about what's happening here, and I have to dodge the thing for a number of reasons, right? Like, she's had some of the sex talk and like the where babies come from talk with Stephanie, but we have not had the
where did you come from
about where you came from. And she's a very sensitive kid, so I don't know how that conversation's going to go, where she's going to be like,
we're kind of hoping that she would be a little bit older than she. Yeah, maybe you don't watch Dinner with Friends anymore.
I don't think so. I think we got to stop with the Friends.
Just watch Rick and Morty or something. That's a fun show for kids.
Yeah. It's got like in their dog. No, that's Adventure Time.
That's Adventure. I think Adventure Time would be okay for.
She's
kids.
Watched one or two Adventure Times, and we almost got on that train. But Rick and Morty has.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. No, I was just joking about that one.
No. Are there any dogs though? There's like no. Cute
there is
animals.
A dog, but Rick gives it a little helmet. This is early on in the series, and who gives a shit if it's spoilers? It's a comedy show. He gives a little helmet, and then like the dog like figures out how to take over the planet. It's a funny. It's like trying to explain something that's funny. It doesn't makes it not funny.
It's like Skynet except dogs.
Yeah.
I forget why, but I was trying to read the. Maybe it was one of my student stories got me prompted thinking about Terminator, and I went over and was looking at the Terminator Wikipedia page today, trying to decipher that whole nonsense timeline.
Well, it's completely fucked now, right?
Yeah.
How to fuck a timeline is go back in time.
I know. But
if it's quote unquote fake, like the only one that like the future changed or the present, whatever, like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like he goes back in time. Mm-hmm. He accidentally fucking like prevents his parents from meeting, and then he fixes it and goes back. But then when he goes back, everything's different because the circumstances on which they met are changed, and everything's better.
Yes, please describe the rest of the movie to me, Steve.
Please, but and in the subsequent movies, same shit happens.
Right.
But like in other time travel films, it seems that you don't change much. It seems that it's more like an idea around fate, which is bullshit.
That, in fact, is the way in which the Wikipedia page frames the general themes of Terminator. It talks about how like one of the themes is that Judgment Day is coming no matter what you do, and all each movie seems to do is just push off when Judgment Day is going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense because we are morons.
Yeah.
But there are some of us that aren't, and some of those people that aren't
go back in time and fuck Linda Hamilton.
No, but could create sentient robots that could fuck us all over, all us fucking. Mouth breather, and I am currently mouth breathing.
You are very much a mouth breather today. No, yeah. I remember why I went down the rabbit hole. I paused in my grading, which is right now I'm kind of on a couple hour long pause, and I go home. I just got to go back to it. Anyway, I paused in my grading. I went onto Twitter and I saw somebody compare Logan, which is out at the theaters right now, with T2, like favorably, like. And I don't know exactly what comparison they were trying to make because I've stayed away from Logan spoilers. But these were two people who very much liked Logan and also very much liked T2, and they were saying they were kind of spiritual successors or something.
I haven't seen it yet, but just given from the trailer and like the fact that they're using like the what's his butt version of "I Hurt Myself Today,"
Johnny Cash
version of that song. I don't think it's gonna.
I don't think
it's gonna turn out well. I don't think it's gonna be a fucking Adam Sandler movie where like the devil's son like rescues Earth and covers Fonzie with bees.
No, I don't think
I watched that like recently. Why the fuck did I watch Little Nicky?
I don't think it's gonna turn out like that at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I think I mean if I had to bet, I'd say at least one of Logan and or Professor X are dead before the end of the movie. At least one, if not both.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's something that could possibly happen.
Yeah. And I bet the little girl... See, I think the little girl, I wonder if they're going to send her back in time or some such shit.
Yep, they're going to send her back in time. Like,
Because, she could be like the star of your next franchise. Seems like she's getting good reviews. She's getting some good notices there.
Well, the thing is, like Wolverine actually, I mean, if you know anything about the character of Wolverine, he doesn't age much because of his powers.
That's true.
And he's old in this. And so that means he's really fucking old.
Yes.
So, like, it's probably, like, on the end of an X-Men timeline.
Yeah, I would imagine. I think it's supposed to take place a certain number of years after any X-Men movie we have already seen. And I think the furthest we've gotten timeline-wise was the end of Days of Future Past, where Logan wakes up in the altered timeline. And I think this is supposed to take place at least 7 years past that.
So in the altered timeline where like Jean Grey is still alive, Cyclops is still alive, and like X-Men 3 didn't happen.
Yes. Did it?
Let's hope not.
Everyone hates that movie. Everyone also hates, I mean...
the Wolverine prequels were pretty bad too. Well, they weren't prequels. They're kind of...
They're different. Yeah, no. So like there was X-Men Origins Wolverine, which most everyone hates that one. I think a lot of people hate that one more than they hate
his X3. Roger Rabbit claw. I mean, this is I'm stealing from the half of the bad guys here, but his Roger Rabbit like cartoon claws.
Oh yes.
In that one were just like... What?
Yeah, I don't understand some of the CG in that one. I liked that one at the time. I think that it did some interesting stuff, but it suffered
with Ryan Reynolds. Yeah,
we've probably talked about this before, but it suffered from what all of the X-Men movies post X2 suffer from to some extent, and that is that they try to cram too many damn mutants into every single movie.
Which is probably why this one, I think, is getting great reviews
because I mean, part
like
of
because from the only like from the trailers and from what like you could see, like it's Logan, it's Xavier and the little girl. I don't know who her name
I think there's a third person that I've heard talked about who I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. I think there's a third person whose ability is Caliban, who can track mutants or can sense mutants. And I think that might play into how they find the little girl, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that there's supposed to be like a third guy. It's only briefly seen in the trailers because Caliban in the comics is an albino. And I think you see him in the trailers.
Did they make him a really dark black guy in this one?
Maybe.
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking adventure plane, whatever the fuck it's called.
Motherfucking X-plane.
There we go. No, it's not X-plane.
Well, this is motherfucking Blackbird. Yeah, it's a blackbird.
No, but I'm talking about
Singing
Nick Fury.
in the dead of night.
I'm talking about Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Oh.
Because Nick Fury was
Nick Fury is the black man.
Yeah. I'm busting Marvel balls.
Busting Marvel's balls. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to see that movie. You want to see Logan?
Yeah, I do. I do want to see it. I think we'll probably go to see it soon, maybe in the IMAX if it's possible.
Yeah. I hear there's a little thing beforehand.
Oh,
a little thing beforehand, not a teaser at the end. I don't think there's anything at the end, but a little thing beforehand featuring everybody's favorite red suited
Deadpool.
Everybody's favorite red suited Deadpool. Oh. But I guess it's not actually footage from the upcoming movie. It's more like
guess what? I'm still around. We're gonna make a Deadpool 2. There's gonna be a old man mutant Cable.
Like in the way that you would go to see a Disney movie and you see a cartoon beforehand. Oh. Except here you're gonna go see an X-Men movie and you see
a Deadpool cartoon.
A filthy little Deadpool cartoon.
Okay.
Except it's not a cartoon. It's actually got Ryan Reynolds,
and I imagine it's completely tonally different from the movie you're about to watch.
I would imagine. Well, as many Disney cartoons are. I mean, Disney cartoons usually, and Pixar does this too. Like they usually tie in somehow, but very loosely, and they are often tonally not that similar.
I remember because when was the last Disney movie I went to see in the theater? And I think it might have been Wreck-It Ralph. Mm-hmm. And like they had that one where the guy did the little paper airplane one. You remember that one? That one, that was cute. I don't know why I brought it up.
I really like that one. No, because I think the reason you brought that up is because it is whimsical in the same way that Wreck-It Ralph is whimsical at times, but it's not. I mean, it's definitely.
I mean, the subject matter is
it's very different, and even the animation style is
definitely different. Because it's the cartoon beforehand was traditional animation, and
but I think that I've always liked that notion of giving a little something beforehand that's not just trailers. I love trailers, but often
I don't love trailers.
I love trailers, but I think there are often way too many of them and they aren't well picked. Whereas like something like that, putting Deadpool before a Wolverine movie is intentional, right? And
I mean, it's because it's an R-rated movie.
Yes,
they can put that kind of material before it.
Yeah, and actually,
it's like cartoons for adults.
You can find
like Rick and Morty.
It's already online. So it was officially released online. I think with an extra cameo or something that wasn't in the version that's in theaters. And I was gonna wait, and I was like, I'm stressed out. I'm gonna watch it, and it was cute. It was fun. It was not cute. It was fun and funny, and
it was cute and fun.
And Ryan Reynolds' butt was in it for a little bit.
Nice.
A little obscured, but
darn.
But his butt. What? You can't go wrong with Ryan Reynolds' butt.
If you say so, Chris.
I do say so. I think
all right.
I think Ryan Reynolds.
See so?
I think Ryan Reynolds' gluteus maximus is the maximist.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that?
If you could tell by my demeanor, I'm done talking about.
You're done talking about Ryan Reynolds
and comic book movies right now. I think.
I hear. Logan
shit! There's one you wanted to talk about.
I hear Logan is not much of a comic book movie.
I know, but
that's that.
You wanted to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I put it on.
I'll taper back my disgust for comic book movie conversation.
I put it
a couple
on
of minutes.
The list, but I don't necessarily know that it needs to be.
Let's talk about it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I have the problem with those trailers that I have with all trailers.
Yeah.
Is that I'm like, oh, the stuff going on in this movie, and people were complaining that Kurt Russell was in it in the trailer, and they're like, oh, this is fucking, that's his dad. And apparently it happens really early in the movie.
James Gunn has gone so far as to say they don't show anything in this trailer of substance that happens after the first 15 minutes of the movie.
What? So all the shit that happens in that crazy shit,
I think
of substance.
He says of substance. So I think what he's trying to say there is the Kurt Russell reveal happens early in the movie. Probably most of the stuff with the gold woman happened. The gold dust woman.
So
happens.
Maybe that's the pre villain.
I think so. I think that's probably
like a mid boss or
something like that.
Parade of Mayors.
I think all that. I think probably there is some stuff in there that's from later in the movie, but I don't think you'd be able to tell anything. I think it's all action stuff.
Like you have to fight Cracker before you get to Big Mom. And not a Cracker, just a man named Cracker.
No, and not Uncle Cracker.
No, not Uncle Cracker.
Well, that'd be
what's an Uncle Cracker song? I can't remember.
Oh, Jesus. Why'd you have to do that to me?
You have Uncle Cracker?
I might have Uncle Cracker. Let me see. I mean, I've got Apple Music, so if I don't have Uncle Cracker in my own library, come on.
We have access to
how
YouTube.
To type Uncle Cracker.
You don't have to play it. You just have to tell me.
I don't know. I'm looking. Let's see. Uncle Cracker.
You could do an internet search for it as well.
Let's see. Follow me.
I don't want to say Google search because that would assume that you're searching with the search engine Google.
Oh yes, we wouldn't want to name any brand names here.
Yeah, I know that would be stupid.
That would be stupid. I mean, the brand names are very, very
important.
Very important. Like you got to pay attention to the trademarks, Steve.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm having a Coke when I'm having a Pepsi or RC Cola.
I wouldn't want to say that you're blowing your nose with Kleenex right now. If you're
I actually am. So.
Oh, you are blowing your nose with Kleenex.
I will right now if you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be great. I mean, so I cannot tell.
It's extra soft on my nose, Kleenex.
Follow Me is, I'm guessing, what the song was based on the number of versions of the song.
That was the hit.
Follow Me. He had a debut solo album.
Follow Me While I Burst. Was that what was his singing?
Fuck! Just enough of it is coming into my head that it's going to be in my head for the rest of the.
Well, you could listen to something else on the way home.
Everything is all right. Do 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 do.
Is that Uncle Cracker you're singing?
Yeah.
What happened to Uncle Cracker? Is he still around? Did he play the orange shit fucks inauguration? Is he one of those fucking people?
He might have. He might, in fact, be the vice presidential candidate when Kid Rock runs for president.
Oh, good.
I don't know. It doesn't look like they've had a falling out.
No, if they're going to pick people from Detroit, I mean, it's got to be
fucking.
It's got to be like a dual action vice president with Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope.
Oh, okay, yeah. Do you think we could get like an all Detroit? Like an all Detroit thing going down, so like we could have fucking Marshall Mathers, we could have Eminem be the Democratic candidate that goes up against.
I think that Eminem is not a complete fuckwad. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he could be the. He could
definitely beat like everybody we've just said. As if it was that like Eminem versus ICP and fucking Kid Rock.
Yeah, I mean, it's and he might even appeal to some of the orange fuckheads supporters because like this is a guy who talks about killing his wife and like fucking his mom and oh wait no.
Did he fuck his mom?
No, I think he talks about killing his wife and killing his mom.
Oh, okay.
He probably talks about fucking his wife after killing her. There's probably a little bit of that in some Eminem deep catalog.
People love that.
Yeah,
the average American loves that.
Yeah, they love it. They say that the orange fuckhead speech reminded them of La La Land, which they haven't seen.
Oh,
I heard that. That was a quote that like stuck out from the podcast I was just listening to on the way over here. Is somebody and that somebody responded to that saying, "Yes, we have reached peak America." I had to. I don't want to get political, and this is how much I don't want to get political. I muted the president's last name on Twitter this week because I'm so sick of seeing his face.
Oh.
So if some
What if
big
someone
news
wants to-
story breaks, I'm not going to see it.
What if someone wants to talk about his steaks? Because you're a big fan, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. But I just, sometimes you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Or the bathwater out.
Sometimes you just got to pee on the baby.
Sometimes you just want to throw out your baby, but you want to save the bathwater.
Sometimes you want to put the bathwater on the prostitute in the hotel, because you're done peeing.
What?
On,
okay.
On her.
I got it. I'm sick. Give me a second.
I was trying to draw out
So
my
we're not
really
getting
terrible joke.
We're not getting into politics.
No,
it turns us
not
both
at
into
all.
crazy people. But I thought I'd put a little jab in there for that.
For Uncle
fucking
Cracker.
Yeah,
Get his fucking
get
song
a jab
stuck
in for
my
Uncle
head.
Cracker and for the idiot that is currently running our country.
Yeah. Well, how do we get talking about Uncle Cracker? We got.
I think you just said
horribly.
I think I made a One Piece reference, and
yes.
and then that
Cracker.
sort of
Yes, Cracker.
devolved from there.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes.
Yes.
And there was So I dig the trailers for that movie. I dig that one of the songs that seems like it's definitely going to be in there is "The Chain" by Fleetwood Mac, which is a good.
I hate Fleetwood Mac.
They're like if
I'm like, maybe that's why I didn't like the trailer as much.
You are the dude, and you hate Fleetwood Mac the way the dude hates the Eagles.
Yes.
Okay.
It's,
all right.
It's
not that far off.
It goes.
You're pretty close to being the Big Lebowski here. I don't know if you know that.
The dude is not the Big Lebowski. The dude is Jeffrey Lebowski, with the same name as another man named Jeffrey Lebowski.
I'm sorry.
Who is the Big Lebowski?
All right. See, you're
that's
not out of it enough that you can't stop and correct me on my Lebowskis.
I mean, seriously, the Big Lebowski is the guy in the wheelchair
When Maude,
who passed away. God rest his soul.
oh yes, when Maude has Jeffrey's baby.
Yeah.
Is the baby going to grow up to be the Big Lebowski, like the new Big Lebowski,
Well,
all different Big Lebowski?
In the ending credits of the film, or no, not in the ending credits, but like when Sam Elliott is doing his final speech talking about the dude, he says there's going to be a little Lebowski on the way.
Right. But we don't know if it
wraps everything up in a tight, nice little bow. He doesn't say those words exactly, but that's basically what that little sentence said. And we don't need a sequel.
We don't need.
Although I'll see it if it happens. I don't want it.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that a little while back about Jesus Quintana. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
If it's completely unrelated to the plot of The Big Lebowski, sure.
Yeah. We don't need no stinking sequels.
Yeah.
Except for Guardians.
We again talked about the same thing. Like with Fargo, the series, like these are completely different stories, completely different characters, same name, and it's still good.
Yeah. What about so earlier I was talking about how I went down the Terminator rabbit hole. And I that led me to James Cameron's IMDb page because I was curious. I was trying to remember what his filmography as a director looked like.
I don't know why I turned away that time.
I know. I don't know why you deprived the audience of your belch.
I thought it was going to be a cough. I think maybe.
Oh, okay.
People don't want to hear coughs.
I appreciate your cough not coming all the way over here into my fun spot glass.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Jimmy Cameron did.
Stop calling him Jimmy.
He did. He did Aliens, right?
Does he want to be called Jimmy? Is that why?
I don't know.
Good old Jimmy. Good old Slippin' Jimmy.
Good old Jimmy. No. So anyway, so he's not done that many films. After I think there's something between Aliens and so there's like Terminator. There's Aliens. I think there might be one between Aliens and T2, and then there's True Lies, and then there's Titanic, and then there's fucking Avatar. Like he hasn't done that many films. And so like some of those films I really dig, but Avatar like left me pretty cold, and yet he's doing like 3-ish sequels to Avatar. Like
what? I never saw it.
Okay,
I've never seen Avatar. I've never seen Titanic. Like you lost me at like the crazy 3-hour, for lack of a better word, chick flick.
Oh, at Titanic.
Yeah.
But so did you see True Lies? When that was out?
Yeah, it was a long fucking time. I've only seen it once and I don't remember it very much.
Terminator 2 is such a...
Wasn't Tom Arnold in that?
Yes, yeah. T2 is such a good movie that I feel like, I don't know. I wonder if we give him a pass in the same way that like Kevin Smith got a pass for making Clerks, or making Clerks for us at that particular time. I don't know. Cameron's a better director than Kevin Smith by a long shot. But I wonder whether or not he's still trading on. I mean, certainly Titanic made him a shit ton of money, and fucking Disney's making a whole land based on Avatar. They've made it. It's opening in May.
Disney, so that's So he sold the rights.
He
to
sold
Disney?
the theme park rights to Disney.
Okay. Well, I think what was it? Nintendo sold some theme park rights to Universal, so you might be seeing Mario characters.
I
think
it would be
Studios.
awesome as the Marvel fan that I am if Universal was like, we got all the fucking Nintendo characters here, Marvel. You can have all your people back, and you can use them in your theme parks again, which
So
they
have
can't.
like
right
Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Well, they can't use Wolverine. Well, I guess they might be able to. I don't know who owns those rights.
Jesus Christ! With the
they
Marvel
fucking almost went out of business, and they sold all their rights off to all sorts of people.
And then they had this movie called Iron Man that saved their butts.
They did, yes. Mr. Robert Downey Jr.,
who everybody was writing off as an addict and couldn't.
And now he gets like a whole trailer park for every movie he makes. He's like a compound.
Really?
On his movies, yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear.
Would you go to Universal Studios just to see the Nintendo, like Nintendo Land, whatever they end up calling it, to meet Mario? No.
No. I've been to Nintendo headquarters, and
I didn't. I don't know if I remember that.
I went when I went to Seattle.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I didn't meet a guy.
You didn't meet.
I didn't
Mario.
meet a guy dressed up like Mario. But
see, I don't think the experience is not complete until you meet.
I did get to
until you meet probably a 20-something girl dressed up as Mario.
Yeah, I didn't get to
because they got to be short of it.
I didn't get to meet Reggie either, who's the president of Nintendo America. But I did get to have a coffee in their cafeteria and buy a shirt from their store, which is weird because the store is like you have to I was brought in as a guest. Mm-hmm. You have to go in with the person that brought you in as a guest to the store, which is weird because if the store is just for employees, then why is it so well stocked? I mean, like, are you really going to be selling out all this fucking stuff?
Pixar has a store. I was watching a little tour of Pixar's campus.
I mean,
and they have a
maybe
store
Reggie
that's
listens. Maybe my friend that works there is kind of nudged my podcast his way, and maybe he'll send us an email.
Maybe.
That would be all kinds of crazy fucked.
Yeah, we got Nintendo on the podcast.
Yeah, it would be like, Reggie, the Switch just came out. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And then we'll talk about it. We'll, eventually the conversation will devolve into us talking about people having sex with each other or some other.
It has to. We'll talk about Zelda having. I mean, you know what? He probably don't want to go.
He would not want to go.
He wouldn't want to go there. He could talk about other people having sex with each other.
Yeah, but just not his intellectual property or the intellectual property that his company is.
You think Zelda goes through the surge protector like in Wreck-It Ralph, and she goes and hangs out with Mario and Luigi because Link just ain't doing it for her?
Why wouldn't Link be doing it for her?
I don't know.
Sometimes the series he's a child, so I imagine that would be a good reason why
Zelda, I kind of feel
but Zelda's typically around the same age as him, so they wouldn't be trying to get frisky, and we're not getting into this again.
Right?
Where
Yeah.
kids
So I'm talking about an adult Zelda, like a legal of age Zelda that's able to decide to have sex with somebody, and an adult Link, and she maybe doesn't.
It exists online, Chris. You just look it up. You just make sure you have you're not searching where this is tracked when you're at home.
I got to tell you something.
Follow
up.
Follow up. The boobs.
So no. So this week in my advanced fiction class, I had an exercise called. It was an exercise from one of our books about flirtation, and I challenged them to write the exercise from the perspective of people who were outside of their whatever their normal romantic kind of relationship would be. So if they're a straight woman, you could write about gay women. You could write about gay men. If you're a gay man, you got to write about outside
somebody straight.
You got to get outside of yourself.
What if they're asexual? That has to be someone.
There was one person who was like, "What if you've never flirted with anybody?" And I was like, "Just try."
then do something. Like write something.
Right, about flirtation of anybody.
Because if you've never done it and you're not sure of where you want to flirt with, then anything would be.
And they did a pretty good job. This person.
Okay, well then maybe they'll be good at flirting whenever they eventually want to.
But but one of the students who I had last semester too, and she was one of the students who was very upset after the election. She wrote this story, and as she started writing it, it wasn't obvious what it was going to be. But as she gets into it, suddenly we have a Russian of some sort who isn't named at first.
Oh, okay.
I
can see where this is going.
Who is interacting with the
New York real estate mogul
who just happens to be the leader of the free world.
Oh.
And the two of them start to slash fic with each other.
Nice.
If I could use that as a verb.
So she went like really graphic.
It was the most hilarious thing that I've heard because you take somebody who is that angry, but who also is that good a writer and wants to stick it to them or have them stick it to each other.
Right.
That day I had an extra copy of the stakes were high because I had an extra copy of a book. Thanks to Amazon.
The orange steaks?
No, not orange steaks. But I had an extra copy of the book, so everyone was on their A game because they wanted to win the book, and she did in fact win the extra copy of the book.
I'm going to blow for a second.
You're going to blow. All right. It's like you're like Kesha. Kesha has a song called "Blow."
Is it about cocaine or blowing your nose?
No, I think this place about to blow. I think it's about a party. It's it's about a party that's about to get awesome, just like Steve's nose just got.
Is there boogies in my mustache? To get them all?
Yeah, I think you got them all.
Okay, good.
If you got Reggie on the podcast, was Reggie?
Reggie, yeah.
Reggie's the president, not your friend. Your friend's somebody else.
Yeah, my friend's somebody else. I won't mention their name. I'll even remove their gender from the equation, so I'm not like,
So Reggie is the person we'd want to get on the podcast. Not that your friend wouldn't. But I
would gladly have that person on as well.
Right. But so we get Reggie on. Is one of the questions we get to ask Reggie why the cartridges on the Switch taste bad?
Yeah, I suppose we could just talk about it now instead because we're not getting Reggie on.
We could. What? So I saw this headline, but
I didn't taste it. Like, one, I'm sick and I don't want to be getting my germs all over the carts. And two, I don't want you licking my Nintendo carts.
You don't want me licking your Switch? Title. I don't want you licking my Switch.
Yeah, there you go.
Or just licking my Switch.
Right.
But or just lick my Switch.
Just stop it.
I'm trying. I gotta say it on the show so I can get it as short as possible. Lick my Switch.
Just do whatever you want, Chris.
All right,
you could call it Fun Bags McGillicuddy if you want to call it that.
Well, now I can.
Yeah, because I said it. Wow.
All right. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you don't want me putting my lips, teeth, or tongue on your.
But I think it's because they went with carts again as opposed to discs. Which because at this point as far as memory goes, it's cheap enough that like the damage that can easily be done to DVD or Blu-rays at this point it would happen a lot less to a physical cartridge. And a lot of people are going digital with their video game consumption anyways, which is a bummer because the Switch only has 32 gigs, which is why I bought a little bit.
And apparently you can't transfer your save game data
to what?
To anything, to another Switch, to like you can't if you're switching.
So if you're gonna get a new Switch, you better beat all those games.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
they might update the software so you can
I guess
do
that. What was the way they phrased it? This was on.
That seems like a really dumb thing to do, and that's probably something that they can. I mean, when I got the new 3DS, I transferred everything over, and so if I can do it on that, I think it's just because the software is still in its infant stage. Yeah, and once they fix that, it'll be fine.
I guess they use.
I think people are just making a mountain out of a molehill, but who on the internet does that?
Oh, I don't know. I guess they use the phrase "at this time" in there as well.
Yeah, so. Good. So because it probably will change over time.
Yeah.
Because that's silly for them not to be able to do that
Yeah.
because they, currently can on other systems.
Right. But we should not beat around the bush. Like
Oh.
you
I have Switch games.
but you have nothing to save them or play them on.
Yeah, no.
Where is your Switch, Steve?
It's somewhere in between here and Missouri, as far as I could tell.
That's so sad.
According to my UPS tracking, which does not update apparently as it's moving through states.
That's not good.
I don't know. I guess it doesn't register that it went to a way station or something.
No,
like that.
I don't. I think with UPS, it's only when the truck checks in somewhere.
So it probably won't check in until it gets to Massachusetts.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine.
You guys that are listening out there, you better not hijack that truck because I want my Switch.
Yeah, it might be a Terminator out there, just trying to change the future by making sure you don't get your Switch.
I can't play. Well, I have to wait. Well, I probably could get my money back.
I guess.
But you can't
If
get
the
them
world
right
doesn't
now. I'm
collapse
lucky. I'm
before.
lucky enough to have gotten a pre-order because they're unavailable at this time, and a lot of the accessories are unavailable at this time. So hopefully,
There was some
But
at I think I went into Walmart the other day because I had seen the size of the cart, and I'd seen what I
size of the
thought looked
box.
like the size of the box, and I was like, is the box really that big? And yeah, I guess the box. Why do you think the box is that big?
well, I mean, Becky and I were talking about when I first got them, and if you look at the packaging for like a DS or a 3DS game,
Yeah.
it's about similar in size, as far as but it's just the box here is longer
Yeah. Yeah.
than the box for the 3. But the thing is, it could easily be as short as the 3DS games. And
Do you think it's purely a marketing thing? They want you to think of it as more substantial than a 3DS game? Because they could give it to you in the same...
it's actually the carts are smaller than a 3DS cart.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Because the technology has gotten better, and we don't need humongous things.
Well, so
nor
they're
the wasteland humongous things.
But they're giving you this big box because they want you as the potential buyer of this as a console, not just a handheld, but as a console.
I'm not gonna. I gotta interrupt real quick before I forget.
Yeah.
We still haven't got an email about Dungeons and Dragons, but there was definitely a Beyond Thunderdome reference this past week.
You guys got to write about that. I want to hear about this, and I don't get to hear about it unless you write us an email.
Well, I could tell you before or after the show, Chris. Shh. Oh, sorry. I mean,
maintain the illusion.
Edit that part out, or don't, because that's a pain in the ass.
So there was a Thunderdome reference.
Yeah.
I think what if I'm them, I make this box taller or longer, however you put it, so that I know that this is a console game and not a handheld game.
But the thing is, the Switch is both a console and a handheld.
Right. Well, and that's why it's not the same size as like a PS3 or a PS4, right? Is that what they're on?
Yeah,
Are they on 3 or 4, but or an Xbox.
They're
One
on PS4
game.
Plus.
Oh.
And Xbox One something. I don't know what the hell they're calling that one.
Lovely names.
It didn't make sense for them to call it Xbox One because it's technically the third Xbox.
I know. Well, I think we've talked about that. Are these games going to be on par with which? Are these like a generation behind, or are these on par with like the Xbox One?
I think they'll be probably on par with the Xbox and the PS4. I don't think they'll actually be as powerful as the PS4.
Yeah.
But that's never been something that Nintendo has striven.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll get the big games that are not made by Nintendo? Will they get those kind of games? Will there be Madden? Will there be?
I think with this system, I think they will. I think they marketed it a significant, a lot better than they did with the Wii U.
Yeah.
Because with the Wii U, people were they thought it was a peripheral to the Wii.
Yeah.
And not an entirely different system.
If
they called it and I keep bringing this up, if they had called it Wii 2, people would be like, "Oh, that's a new thing. That's the new Wii."
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean,
but still, they should have called it something fucking else.
I knew that the Wii U was a new thing, but I didn't know what to make of it. I mean, I'm not much of a gamer, as everyone knows. I wonder if it's a situation similar to the. I know when I started working at Apple, I started working there around I'm gonna get this wrong, but around the time that I started working there was the 4S came out, right? And the 4S
that was like
came out, and everyone was
2009?
like, "When is the 5?" I started working there in 2011, so this might have been before my
Okay,
time.
so I got the 5, and and 2012 was when I got the 5 in 2012.
Okay, so
October 2012.
when I first got there, I think the 4S came out.
Came out? What are you, Canadian now?
4S came out, and people would come into the store and they'd be like, "When's the 5 coming?" I'm like, "We just had a new phone, and it's like a brand new phone. It's got Siri, it's got all this shit." It's like, "Yeah, no, but when's the 5 coming out?"
In a year. Hold on.
And so and that was when they were still getting people used to this notion that every other year they'd have
An incremental upgrade.
But Nintendo's like.
Well, like video
there's
games.
no pattern there. It wasn't like Wii U, Switch U. I hope they don't. I hope that's not what they do. This feels like a new thing to me. Enough so
It is a new thing.
that my kids are like, "Oh, we should get one of those."
Well, it is $300.
Well, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Well, maybe
we don't play games enough.
maybe if Uncle Steve is nice, he can bring it over.
Yeah, maybe.
If they promise not to break it.
But not try to chew on the cartridge.
Don't let them chew on the cartridges.
I saw a picture of a.
I mean, they're old enough that they probably wouldn't want to.
No, I saw a picture of a puppy dog who it didn't deter him.
He just kept on eating.
He just kept on.
Did he
chewing.
swallow it?
No. It showed like teeth marks and whatever in it. But
well, apparently they need to work on their flavor.
Yeah.
So dogs don't like it either.
Dogs don't give a shit. Dogs will eat anything.
No, well, I don't know. So I think certain animals don't like the taste of citrus. So if they make it taste shitty and citrusy,
okay. But if they made it taste citrusy, then human beings might want to eat it.
Yeah, well, they were like, "Oh, I might get vitamins from this." I'm not feeling well, so maybe if it
Switch from A to Zinc.
I got Zelda and I got Bomberman.
I don't see.
I haven't played Bomberman since like Super Nintendo.
I know the name Bomberman, but I don't even remember like how Bomberman works.
So
and
basically,
you were saying like Zelda is like an open roamer kind of like Zelda's different than pretty much any Zelda before now.
Well, yeah, I mean like the whole thing about Zelda is like you like almost it's been pretty much the same since the Link to the Past. Mm-hmm. Because the first one was obviously different.
Yeah, and Zelda 2 was very different.
And Zelda 2 was very different from that one. But like since the Link to the Past, it's like, okay, you have to do these 3 dungeons to get like some sort of amulet or crystal or something. Right. And that gets you the Master Sword, which then leads you on to going to maybe 6 or 7 more other dungeons to get like all these medallions or whatever have you to get to a point where you can fight Ganon.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I mean, like, the long and short of it, like, there's been different concepts along the way. Like Wind Waker, you had a little fucking boat and you're like sailing in the sea. And I think Skyward Sword, you had this bird that you flew around on, that which was basically the in the air version of Wind Waker.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
And what was it? I was watching a speed run of it recently, and of one of the games, and a lot of people that speed run, their favorite is either A Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, and their least favorite because they don't like speed running it is Zelda 2. But then like a lot of people were saying like the Zelda games that they made for the CDI were the worst because they are in fact the worst.
Yeah,
but
CDI is
like the Philips CDI, like way back in history.
Okay, because like these words mean no thing to me.
Way back in history, Nintendo and Sony were on the verge of a partnership to make a CD edition to the Super Nintendo.
Ah, okay.
And whatever, I don't know, like sort of stuff that happened behind the scenes, but Nintendo pulled out of the deal, and the Sony basically turned all that research and what the stuff they were doing into the PlayStation.
Ah, I see, said the blind man.
So, Nintendo basically created one of its biggest competitors.
Fucking dummies.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say dummies because like, they're still around. I'm like, they're not Sega.
Yeah.
They didn't
Right.
they didn't like make like severe, like, the Wii U may have been a mistake,
Yeah.
but the Wii wasn't. So like the Wii got like,
I mean, the Wii got us to buy our first console, and my parents to buy their first console in
Since-
decades.
yeah. Like, I mean, your brother bought ones,
Right,
but like,
but-
yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
the last one your parents did probably was the original NES.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like they've stuck around, but like they basically just they just fostered and cared for their one of their biggest competitors,
Yeah, that's
which
weird.
is doing pretty darn well right now.
I went.
As far as their video game division, I don't know about their
Yeah.
movie division.
Yeah, no, but they partnered with Disney to make a Spider-Man movie, and I think that one's gonna do pretty well because it's gonna have Mr. RDJ in it.
But Bomberman,
Yeah,
let's get back to Bomberman. So we used to play this in Paul's basement a lot back in what we used to call, or still do, call the day. And I forget the one that we used to, I think it was Bomberman 5 that Paul had for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
It had these little kangaroo things that they weren't called Joeys, they were called Louies. And then
Because I think Australia holds the trademark on.
yeah, yeah, they might, they just might.
Well, we might
like-
be getting a cease and desist from Australia.
I hope not,
about
because
using
like,
the word Joey just then.
yeah, Australia would be like, you need to stop using, like they were chucking rocks at Japan from like the top of their continent. Like they have really good arms.
Yeah.
And no, but like,
that's why you get tons of Australian baseball players, tons of Australian pitchers.
but like the game is like you have this little map and you run around and you
bomb things.
like there's these like stone walls that you blow up, and occasionally when you blow up a stone wall you get a power up, which
Like
it
Dig Dug?
No.
No.
But you blow up things, you get power ups.
I hope that just made somebody really angry. They started typing an email. It's like, Bomberman is not like Dig Dug. Here's why.
Are you just trying to make people angry so they email us? So
If
you run
I
around,
say
you
yes.
blow up the stone walls or whatever walls that are in the map, and you get power ups, like either making
Yeah.
your bombs like explode further or more bombs, or like there's a speed up one that's roller skates.
Yeah.
And there was this one that's the shoes that like samurais would wear. Like the wooden shoes that have like the two slots on the bottom.
Yeah.
Those make you go slower, and I don't know if they have them in this one, but we used to, I don't know who it was of us. We're like, why do these make you go slower? Because we couldn't identify what it was, because we were just we're kids, and we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
We don't know samurai movies yet.
No, not yet.
So
later.
We're like, what are they? Some sort of heavy pants? I don't know which one of us said it. I'm hoping it was me, because that's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. I just noticed. So Super Bomberman is made by Konami. So if I start doing up left right BA select start, does it do anything?
I think
I mean, it's not a real Konami game. If that
I think
doesn't work.
for the longest time they would do things with that, and then I think it was in Gradius 3, which was I think it might have been either a launch title for the Super Nintendo or a title that came out very shortly after launch. That if you paused it and put in the Konami code, your ship would blow up.
Shit. I know that I found John Martin and I both back in the day had the JavaScript that you could put into your web page, so that if you were on a computer and you went to our web page and you did the Konami code, it would do something. I don't remember what mine did. I don't
show
remember
you
what
like
either of them
pictures
did,
of Nami's cleavage. How are we doing on time? We talked about Switch. But yeah, I'm excited.
We are very good.
I need to get a couple more
Joy-Cons.
Couple more Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So when I have people over, we can play like 4-player Bomberman or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm curious. I saw some of the whatever store
You can play
I was
up to
in.
8 players, but I'm not buying fucking.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because they're a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm not buying like 3 more.
Yeah. Well, we had an email. So you asked how we were on time. We got 6 minutes. We had one email, and we had another thing about physical packaging that I could bring up real quick. But maybe the email is better. I don't know.
Let's encourage people to send us emails by reading their emails.
By reading the email, we gotta. While I'm digging this up, I should say, like, so. Come on, where are you? very quickly, the packaging thing, and I got the email right here. The packaging thing is that like I ordered the most recent Nine Inch Nails EP.
For you kids out there, EP stands for extended play.
Yes, it's like a 5-song album, and I ordered it digitally. And it used to. I was in the habit. They were one of the few bands where I was going to keep buying the physical product. But this time around, the only physical product you could buy was an album, and I didn't have a record player, so I just
wait. So you can't listen to your Christmas present?
I didn't have one then. I might eventually get one,
okay.
but at this point when I was ordering it, I didn't have one. So I bought the digital, and they said, you get the digital, we'll give you a physical something in the mail to go with this digital product to make it feel more substantial.
So they just give you an album?
No, what they sent me was this envelope, and it was in a plastic sleeve, and it had a warning label on the back. I think this was tying into whatever the theoretical story of the EP was, and it's like, this will make a mess was one of the things on it. So when you opened it up, it had like toner all over the envelope, so your fingers got messy, and then you opened it up and you'd get all the stuff inside. And I don't know exactly what they were going for, but
they're like, do you like making a mess? Because we just made a mess for you.
I mean, it says it right on the envelope. It's like, before you open this, understand this is going to make a mess. And like the stuff inside was interesting, and like I liked the tactile sense of like making a mess, and like, oh, it's like supposed to be paranoia, or I
don't particularly like getting toner everywhere though.
But I did it once, and then I put it in a big Ziploc, and I put it away, and I'll probably never look at it again. And it's like, so
until someday down the road where your wife is doing what your mother is doing to your father now, and saying, why do you have all this shit?
I throw a lot of my shit out.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Fair. Anyway, so like, like once you load these games on, or like whatever, like, are you ever going to open? I mean,
no, I'm not going to load them on. Like, I'm going to use these carts because
right.
I like at least from Zelda, like this is like a gig.
Yeah. So you're not going to,
or at least a gig. I don't even know. Right. Maybe even more. Like a ridiculous. No, it's like 10 gigs. So like if I had gotten the digital version of this, I guess it would take up 1/3 of the existing memory of the system.
I guess the better example is like, we've been getting all the Disney movies on DVD at Christmas time and stuff, or on DVD and Blu-ray, just so we can have the box for the kids to open. But we never actually use the disc. We just download the digital copy, and then the all the physical packaging just goes away. And I don't. Like, we as human beings have this thing for like a physical artifact, in the same way that like I think a lot of us who like to read would rather have books if we had infinite amount of space.
I mean, yeah, I have 81 volumes of One Piece in the other room. That doesn't count because I'm just talking about something. I'm not sneaking it. I didn't sneak that one in.
No, you didn't sneak that one in. No, so like, but a lot of stuff like I don't know. I think we. It's better to get it digitally, like you said about the games, but we still, like, I don't know.
I'm sort of like, because I don't get a shit ton of physical releases anymore, except for like maybe your brother sends me a game,
right.
And I'm like, cool, because I don't know if he can send me he might be able to send me a digital. Maybe I'll just ask him that next time, so I don't have to fucking have another thing taking up space on a shelf.
Yeah, because I don't. Anyway, email.
Yes.
Email. This is from...
I'm trying to set aside a little bit of this time for some emails.
So this is from Ryan.
Friend of the show. I'm actually seeing him right after we speak.
Yeah. So you can tell him that he made the show. Yeah. Don't tell him when. Make him listen to the whole thing.
He's gonna.
No. So the subject line R4Cade says the A4.
You mean the arcade bar?
I do mean the arcade bar. Most certainly not the bar arcade.
Yeah,
that's too close.
Yeah,
to
the arcade name. Bar, or the bar that has an arcade.
The bar that has an arcade in it. Yeah. The Kleenex that has a no. I mean the tissue that has
a Kleenex in it. I don't know.
We're not going to explain at all what we're talking about because
I'm blowing again. Read the email.
We don't want to get sued. R4Cade. The A4 is likely used because Roxy's is in Area 4 of Cambridge. Someday I'll go there when those lines die down. I think they have 3 to 4 pinballs in there and a bunch of other arcade/bar games. Also, I randomly sat next to Bowen of Pinball fame at a
Bowen
show.
Cairns, former Papa World Champion.
Oh, at a show at the Wilbur recently. He said that most of the Lanes and Games pinballs, which are no longer there, went to Flat Top Johnny's and R4Cade.
Cool.
So Lanes for Games is still
Lanes for Games for days.
Sorry, Lanes and Games is still there. Like, and their sign still advertises that they're there. But so the pinball is what's
the pinball
gone
is gone. I mean, like they still have 2 levels of bowling. They have candlepin and 10-pin.
But is there no? I mean, can they still lay claim to the word games? Are there any games, or is it just
there
Lanes?
are games, but they're not pinball.
Not
games.
pinball.
I think they have like the air hockey and some other shit.
No arcade games.
I think they might have a couple.
Okay, but
like,
no pinball.
Like they whatever Daytona USA upgrade that there is, but it doesn't have that Daytona song going.
The kids love to play the fucking car games, and but inevitably when we've gone up there either with just my girls or with
Fun Spotters, whatever.
Yeah, with the girls and my nephew Liam
or Fun World.
Well, usually we go to Fun Spot if we're going with Liam because that's like halfway between.
Because they're up in fucking.
They're in, or maybe it's even more than halfway. They're in Conway, or they're in the Conway area. So
yeah, it's not that far. I mean, it's what is it?
It's further for us than it is for them.
No, it's east of Winnipesaukee, right?
Yeah. At any rate, so they love to play the driving games, but usually one of them or 2 of them are not Kaylee, but the other 2 are too short to reach the fucking pedals. So they want to play the game,
get like a tissue
but
box.
I'm fucking sitting there holding the goddamn pedal with my hand while
she
they're
just
driving.
crashes a bunch.
Yeah,
because she's not using the brakes.
Right.
Daddy, I need the brakes.
Oh, I don't know.
Is there any more to the email, or we got?
No, that was it.
Well, I'm sure I figured it was something like that, and I think like the restaurant that is either the restaurant or the people that own the restaurant part that decided to put the pinball in there. I think they own another restaurant that it is similarly named. It has a 4 in it.
I think you're right. I mean, and I think that's the one where I was looking up. I don't know if we mentioned it last week or when we mentioned it, but there were links to both. Because is that the one that's like a collaboration between a restaurant and a bar, or a restaurant and a pinball type? I don't know. There was something I was looking up for show notes recently where it was like you could get to it from the restaurant had a web page, and then there was another web page, and I was like,
well, yeah, I mean, Roxy's, you can go in and order a grilled cheese like in that area.
That's what it was. So
yeah, but to go into the back,
right.
I mean, you can order food back there too, but in the bar area, I mean, you have to wait in line. So hopefully, I'll be able to check it out sometime in the future, because I work in the city-ish area, and it's a little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
From a couple of different colored trains to get over there.
Speaking of show notes.
Oh, where can you find them?
Well, you can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/136, which we mentioned at the top of the show, but might as well mention it again now. And
it's cool. I mean, we talked about so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Arcade bars,
and
Kleenex,
bars that are in arcades.
I mean, tissues, cola, all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah. Get me an orange Coke there, Steve.
Orange Coke. What are you in Florida?
No, I'm New York.
Did they say that in New York too?
No, but there is an orange cokehead from New York who now is in the White House.
Well, allegedly. He's not allegedly there, but
if you would like
he's
to send
allegedly done the thing that you said he did.
If you would like to send us information about that would make it not alleged, so we could break the news and get a whole bunch of subscribers to our podcast, you can send that to hot@clarkwoods.com. Or you can tweet us.
Right.
I'm at ECC1977.
And I'm at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday, IS Loser, all one word.
Something funny.
Okay. Razzle dazzle. Here comes the snazzle.